Hi, this is Dr. Giuseppe Marinacci from BioHealth Holistic Dentistry. When we talk about replacing missing teeth, we just have three options. You can have a removable denture, you can have a bridge, or you can have dental implants. So, for many reasons that I explained in my previous videos, dental implants are for sure the best option. So in terms of dental implants, titanium implants have been the only option available for over 6 years. But nowadays we have another option, which is ceramic implants, that is quickly overcoming titanium implants in terms of biocompatibility and aesthetics. But let's talk about the dangers of titanium implants. So why titanium implants should not be the first option anymore, and they should be replaced by ceramic implants. First of all, titanium is a metal. So from a biological point of view, we should not use any metals to replace anything in the human body. Why? Because metals, they cause inflammation, they cause immunological reactions, because they're not recognized by the immune system. So there is always a reaction that can lead to chronic, low-grade chronic inflammation, which could trigger in the long term other kind of issues. So once the titanium implant is placed into the bone, there is always corrosion. Okay, so the bone is not a dry tissue, it's wet. So 17% of the bone is water. And that's why this wet environment basically creates the conditions for the titanium to corrode and to release metal particles into the surrounding tissues that can cause more inflammation and in the long term bone loss and gum inflammation. This is scientifically proven, and actually 54% of all titanium implants, they show some gum inflammation after 5 years, and some of them, they show even bone loss during the first decade. Okay, so this is a fact that titanium corrodes and can cause inflammation and bone loss in the long term. But nowadays, the situation is getting even worse. Why? Because basically, there is a new phenomenon called titanium overload. What does it mean? Basically, many products, including, tablets, cosmetic creams, toothpastes, even some kind of foods, they contain titanium dioxide, which means that we are much more exposed to titanium than we were in the past. Okay, so this can cause a so-called titanium overload over the immune system. So if the immune system is already strained by titanium, obviously putting a titanium implant into the body will cause another reaction of the immune system. In some cases, this can cause severe bone loss around the implants, which is in most cases read as titanium allergy or titanium hypersensitivity. So there is another issue, okay, which is related to the fact that titanium is a conductor. So what happens? Basically, when you have a titanium implant in your mouth, that implant can work as an antenna when you are in an electromagnetic field environment. So when you receive frequencies from, Wi-Fi devices or from, the closest, basically cell tower, these frequencies are amplified, and they can cause issues because obviously they can create like a, let's say, microwave oven effect on the surrounding bone of the implant, which can lead to overheating and then additional bone loss. And obviously these electromagnetic fields generated and amplified can become an interference field with our electrical functions. The other issue related to titanium implants is the fact that basically the gum doesn't like titanium. That's why usually there isn't a strong, tight connection between the gum and titanium implants. In most cases, there is always a gap between the gum and the titanium implant, which basically works as an open door for bacteria. So bacteria can go inside this gap, they can easily reach the bone, they can contaminate the titanium surface, and that can lead to infection, can basically speed up the bone loss. And obviously keeping a chronic infection, chronic inflammation in the body. The fifth of these hidden dangers is obviously the aesthetics. Okay, so basically if the gum gets inflamed and recedes, obviously part of the implant can get exposed, and the implants are gray. Okay, so aesthetically it's not great. And titanium implant, they can even cause a gray shadow under the gum. So if you have a big smile and you show your gums when smiling, a gray shadow obviously wouldn't be so nice. So what's the option then? So as I mentioned before, ceramic implants, they are now, or they should be now, considered the first option because basically they are more biocompatible. Okay, ceramic is completely neutral. It doesn't cause any immunological reaction, and is a completely inert object that doesn't cause any inflammation. Obviously, aesthetically, zirconia implants are much better. Okay, because even though you have a gum recession in the long term, zirconia implants, ceramic implants, they're white. They're not gray. Okay, for sure, the effect would be better compared to titanium implants. Zirconia implants are very strong. Okay, they can function everywhere in the mouth, which means that you can replace teeth, any kind of tooth with zirconia implants, and they behave very well, even better than natural teeth, because they have no affinity for plaque. So it means that if part of the implant is exposed, usually they don't retain any plaque. They can be easily cleaned. And gums, they love zirconia. That's why they get attached to it. So basically, the connection between the implant and the gums is much tighter compared to titanium, which means that there would be no open doors for bacteria and no risk of implant contamination. So that's why I chose zirconia implants for myself and for my family, and I choose zirconia implants every day for my patients.